Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cassandra from the blog Craft to Lever After, and I'm so excited to chat to you guys again today. So thank you for joining me, and let's get going. I think today's video is mainly going to be sort of a WIP update. I've been postponing it for a while. There's quite a few things hanging around my my WIP caddy or my WIP trolley or my WIP chair, wherever I'm sitting and working. That is where I've got some or other work in progress hanging about, taunting me. So I'm going to show you what I've been up to, but first I do have one finished object that I wanted to show you, and that was from the Cutest Creations book. Now, I spoke about it last week. I showed you my cute little Boris the bear and his little Christmas version I did him in. And I did tell you guys that I will be making another one because I really love that bear pattern. And I did make another one. And this is him. It's a little Halloween, not quite Halloween, because I mean, look at that little face. Now, is that a scary face? Not at all. And look at his friendly little pumpkin. So this is more of an autumn, October, friendly Halloween bear. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, I did just pin his head, his little hat in the back to his head. I might actually sew it on because I will be keeping this bear for my autumn or my fall display. But he does have his little ears. Sorry, there's a piece of cardboard stuck to the top of the hat just to keep the top flat. And then I just did, so the hat, I didn't even have a pattern for it. Neither did I have a pattern for the pumpkin. So those were just sort of random little things that I put on top of Boris's head. So now we've got Christmas Boris and friendly Halloween Boris. I do want to make another pattern from this book, not Boris again, believe it or not, but I want to make this cute little squirrel. So I absolutely love, love, love squirrels. I've never made a squirrel amigurumi. I just love squirrels in general, in real life. When I was really small, we had a show on TV. It was in Afrikaans. It was called Pokkel die Eekhoring. So roughly translated into English, it's Chubby the Squirrel. Now, I loved that show so much that years and years later, when I had my own place, I got a cat, and I actually called my cat Pokkel. That is how much I love that show. So my next one, I think from this book, I'm going to squeeze it in somewhere during this week, will be that very cute little squirrel. Now, on to my works in progress. The first one I think I want to show you is my favorite project, which lives in this very cute Copenhagen tote bag. But anyways, this is my Hermes sweater. Now, this thing is going to take me a million years to complete, but I've gotten a little bit done. And even though it's taking me this long, I love how it is turning out. Let me show you. I have now got all the color work done. So this is what it looks like so far. I'm up to the point where I had to divide for the arms and the body, which was really easy to do. Much easier when I actually got to that part than I thought. So I'm working on the body right now. So it's just straight down, and I think right at the end there's a very, I think it's like a 2-row color work. So nothing massive like at the top. But I did, by the time I got to nearly the end of my color work, so sort of just before these little weird upside down thingies, little cross thingies, there's supposed to be 2 rows. Now I'm going to try and get it a bit closer. 2 rows just above it was sort of it was at one stage a 3-color color change. So after every one stitch you had to change color, and you were carrying all 3 yarns all the way around. And I did not have the energy to even try it. So I left out 2 rows of that hectic one stitch, one stitch, one stitch color change. So I just did two rows of a solid color, beige, and then I did this last design. But I mean, anyone looking at the sweater just like this, I don't know if you can see it, sorry, I'm gonna try and peek underneath it. So anyone who's going to look at the sweater will probably never know that I left out 2 rows of color changes. But there you have it. So the rest of this is just going to be all beige for the arms, and then that little 2 rows of color work right at the bottom. So I think within this year I might actually finish this sweater. I'm loving it. I honestly don't know if I will do anything this hectic again. It is tiring. I had to take a nap every time I finished with a piece of color work. Let me tell you that. It was exhausting for me. But anyway, I'm loving how it's turning out. So I'm only doing a few rows. You work a extended extended single crochet all the way. That's the only stitch throughout this entire pattern. So including the color work, all of it is worked in extended single crochet. So this is my favorite work in progress. On to my next work in progress. Now, not as high up on the list as this sweater, but I'm enjoying it more than I thought that I would. And that is my cake yarn blanket. Now, a few weeks ago, you guys saw me opening up 4 of these mystery cakes from the hobby lucky bags. And I decided to use 2 colors together at a time, creating a blanket. Now, what I have now since starting have seen is that I will not have nearly enough. I don't even know if I will be able to get a baby blanket out of this thing. So my brain's been working, and I will be adding like a fun border, a solid color fun border around it, and maybe do something like nice crocheted flowers embroidered or worked on top of it. So this is what this thing, now it's about 110 centimeters, so I won't be able to fit it on the screen. It's about 110 centimeters in width. So I'm going to work this until all of my cakes are finished. However long that is going to be, I'm not sure. It's not going to be actually going to be very long from what I can see from how it's worked out, because it is a very thin yarn. So even with working 2 colors together, so 8 strands, it's not going to be big. But this was my, now I don't know if you guys will be able to see the stitch. I cannot now see the screen actually, but all it is, it's like I started with a row of half doubles. Now half double crochet is my favorite all-time stitch. So I started out with a row of just full half double crochets, then half double crochet, chain, skip 1, half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and then in all the following rows alternating between single crochet and half double crochet. Then you just work into the gaps of the chains. You work your stitches. So instead of working your stitch into the actual stitch, you do it into the chain, and it created this really beautiful, I don't know, maybe there is a stitch called something, I don't know what it's called, but it's got this basket look to it, and I really like how it's turning out. Now sadly you are not able to see the colors very clearly. I have somewhere in here, my first color change did happen here in the middle somewhere, but you won't be able to see it on the screen. So these ones, I don't know if you know these yarns or not, but they have 4 loose strands, and how the color changes work, it changes strand by strand. So you start with 4 pink strands, and then eventually one of the pink will change to a light pink, then 2 of the strands will be a light pink into a dark pink, and then 3 strands will be a light pink, and only 1 will be a dark pink. So it's very, very gradual. But working now with 2 colors together, so eventually my pink is going to be very, very light, because the pink is currently the predominant color, because I'm working from the outside of the blue, which is the very light blue. But with my color changes now, so I've now changed to, so my dark pink is now slowly moving into a light pink. The light blue that I started with is working towards a dark blue, and you can see it up close. You can actually see it. So I think it's going to be really nice once this pink is going to slowly transition into a darker blue, which is really, really lovely. But now let me tell you one thing, folks. Working with yarn that are not plied is a whole different story. So these skeins come in strands, 4 loose strands. I'm now, in other words, working with 8 loose strands. Now working or trying to get these 8 strands to stay together is like, I don't know, taking a bunch of 4-year-olds to the mall and trying to keep track of them. Now you still think you've got track of your bunch of 4-year-olds, but when you look again, like one of them has drifted off to the toy shop, and another one is standing at the ice cream shop licking the glass, and the third one is on the ground throwing a tantrum. And I'm telling you, this is what it's like keeping track of 8 strands. It is just, whew. I'm glad my kids are big. That is all I'm going to say about this experience, because it's a lot of work. Teachers, anyone who's a teacher out there for little kids, I admire you. I will never ever in my entire life do it. I don't have the patience to be a teacher. I've barely got patience to keep my own little 8 4-year-olds in check. But I'm enjoying it too much to let it go. So I'm really, really loving how it turns out. I'm very slowly working on it. So this is not a rush job. I will be working on this for a very long time, just doing a few rows at a time. But it doesn't bother me. I'm enjoying it actually more than I thought I would. So me and my bunch of 4-year-olds will just keep chugging along. So that was my cake project. Next. And this is strangely a project I have not enjoyed working on at all, but I'm going to finish it and I will show you what it is. This is what I have gotten so far. Now, what is it, you're going to ask me? If you haven't seen it all over Instagram or popping up on your Etsy suggestions, it is a pattern by 1 and 2 company, who I love. I love her patterns. I have bought her kits. I have dozens of the patterns. So I actually bought 2 sets of these patterns. They come in sets of 3 different little animals or things. So this one was the forest one. It comes with a little bear and a hedgehog and an owl. And then I've got one that's got, I think, a sunflower and something else. I don't know. But what it is, it's a shopping bag. So this is what it looks like. Now it still has to get a little button on top to keep it closed. So you have this little animal face, and then there's a bag inside. So the bag sort of comes out of you flip it over, and inside is a bag. Now I'm not done. And I will tell you why I'm not done. Because I'm not enjoying it. That's why. Okay, first of all, I hate doing chains. Isn't that weird? Like, you'd think it would go quickly because a chain is the easiest and quickest stitch to do, but I don't like it. But I think it's not the chain's fault. Now, I mustn't go blaming chains for my current situation with this bear. I'm going to blame the bear itself. I didn't understand the directions. I didn't understand how you attach the panels. So you have three panels, you attach two to make the face, then you add the third one, which is a looser one, so that you can fit your bag inside. I just could not grasp how to work those three together. So in the end, I did my own thing. And I think that is where things went wrong for this pattern. Because if I start to struggle, like, I just lose all love for a pattern. But anyway, so I can't argue that it's not cute, because it is. I'm quite far. Let me just turn it now inside out again. So what happens is, once you've turned it out inside out, this bottom part, which is the face part, that now becomes the base, like a little support for your bag, so you can put stuff in it. I'm actually not too far from the end, so by the next episode I probably will be done. So it needs a few more. You do this mesh, which is just a bunch of chains, and that was the other thing. I couldn't understand how to start it. You'd think an instruction that tells you to do a certain number of chains and attach them to another chain would be easy. I did not get it. I had to zoom into the picture to understand what she was saying. So I do think once it's done, I will probably love it more. Because like I say, I have loads of patterns from 1 and 2 Company, and I've loved every single one I have done apart from this one. And it's sad because I know for a fact that I will not be making any more of these bags. For now. Maybe I'll change my mind in the future. So I've got, I think, a small part, like a little bit of that left to do, and then you do like a solid, I think it's single crochet, where you that you just enforce a bit so that you can add handles, and the handles are just crocheted sort of around the rim. So I'm not too far. So hopefully by the next episode I'll be able to show you a completed bag, maybe give you an updated feedback. But let me know if any of you guys have done this bag, shopper bag pattern from 1 and 2 Company. And tell me what you guys thought of it, if you enjoyed it. So for the moment, for me, I found the instructions difficult. I'm going to chug along, see how it ends up, and I will let you guys know in the next episode. All right, well, I think that's it for today. An update on what's been going on. My favorite thing of this week, Boris, the Halloween bear. All right, you guys, I hope you have a lovely, lovely week. Today is Wednesday, where are we now? 22nd of June. Let me know what you are working on. Keep those comments coming. I have been loving reading and replying to all of them. You guys have been awesome. And I really wish you a lovely, lovely Wednesday. I'll see you guys soon.